Story 1 was mine. I, 25 years old, got cheated on by my 22-year-old girlfriend with her ex-boyfriend, and she made me believe the baby she was carrying was mine. There were many events that led up to this, starting with when I met this girl about a year and 6 months ago. Our relationship started off nicely. She seemed like a nice girl, and she was very pretty too. We had some issues here and there like any other couple, but overall things were smooth sailing. She lived about 30 to 40 minutes away from me. I am a young professional who has already finished school and is starting my career. She was still completing her studies at a local university in the same town, so she was staying at a student accommodation, or residence as they call it. As we all know, living in close quarters with other students can lead to some nasty behavior. I didn't have a problem with this, as she would visit me regularly, almost every weekend. However, things took a turn for the worse when her visits became less frequent, and she would always have some excuse for being busy. I didn't want to be selfish and demand all of her time, especially since she was a student and had other commitments. But looking back, that was my mistake. As time went by, her visits became even less frequent, and I started to suspect that she was spending time with someone else. However, I didn't want to believe it because I thought she was an innocent girl who would never do something like that to me, given how good our relationship was. But I was wrong. I later found out that she had been secretly meeting up with one of her ex-boyfriends who also went to the same college. I won't go into detail about how I found out, but I confronted her about it, and she had no choice but to admit it when I presented her with overwhelming evidence. I also found out that they had slept together, and I was left wondering why. Why did she betray my trust like that? What led her to do such a thing when I had been nothing but good to her? She claimed she was in a bad place and needed someone to talk to, and one thing led to another. She apologized and said she would understand if I couldn't forgive her for what she did. I should have listened to her then, because what happened next was a series of events that led to her making me believe that the child she was carrying was mine. We talked things out, and she apologized, and I forgave her because she seemed sincere and sorry for her actions. Fast forward 3 months, and we found out she was pregnant. Surprise, at this point, she had told me that she had cut off all communication with her ex-boyfriend, and they weren't in contact in any way. However, I later discovered that she had told him about the pregnancy, but she didn't mention that she was in a relationship and that there was a potential father for the child. She already knew what she had done, and I confronted her about it. She admitted to contacting him, but claimed it was because she wanted him to back off, so that she can continue living her life with me, who is the father of her child and partner. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I will now fast forward to when the baby was born, and I went to visit them 2 weeks after she went into labor. I spent time with them, and everything was nice. We were happy that we were having a baby, and I was super excited about the idea that I am now a father. There were conversations preceding her going into labor between us, pertaining to the paternity of the baby. And I explicitly asked her, "Is there any chance I am not the father of this baby?" She reassured me that I am the father, and I should not be worried about not fathering the child. Also, I was not about to question a heavily pregnant woman about the paternity of our potential baby. That made me feel horrible, and I stopped questioning her about this. Coming back to when the baby was born, 2 months after the birth, I later discovered that she had rekindled her relationship with her ex-boyfriend and was bringing the child for him to see behind my back. Mind you, this guy does not know that there is already an existing father of this baby. At this point, I caught her in the act, and her whole lie was revealed. We fought over this, and I requested a DNA test to be done so we can rule out any uncertainty. We continued to be a couple and raise the baby together. However, I told her it was only fair for the other alleged father to also contribute towards the maintenance of the child until all facts were on the table, as I had been the one supporting them throughout her pregnancy and postpartum. This happened for a period of about 2 months before the DNA test was done. Earlier this year, the results came out saying I am not the father of this child. I am distraught, to say the least. I am disappointed in myself for putting so much trust in one person who did nothing but break it and my heart into pieces. I have since kicked them out of my place with her child and told them they can go live their happy lives with their newly found family. To be honest, this hurts me so much. I don't go a day without thinking about them. I have already formed a solid bond with what was supposed to be my child, not to mention my ex-girlfriend. All the life I knew and was preparing myself for is now gone. I'm miserable AF. Reader comment, did you sign the birth certificate? If you did, you need a lawyer yesterday to get your name off of it before the time limit runs up and she realizes this and takes you to court for support. We were not too naive to do that. We knew the results could come out otherwise, so I didn't sign up for that. Reader comment, I am disappointed in myself for putting so much trust in one person who did nothing but break it and my heart into pieces. Brother, be honest with yourself. You were lazy, afraid, and desperate. You chose to be ignorant despite all the facts. Take better care of yourself in the future. Yeah, I kind of enabled the mistreatment in a way. I guess it's a hard lesson learned. Trying not to be hard on myself anyway, faced with tears of joy. Lol. Story 2, wife cheated. Once she passes, can I tell the spouse of the other party? This happened a couple of years ago. My wife had a friend from her early 20s who was from the UK. Let's call him Graham. During this time, Graham was dating my wife's childhood best friend. All three remained friends, and my wife went to the UK to visit him and his family in her late 30s. Edit, the best friend mentioned above is not Graham's wife. I did tell the best friend, and she didn't really care because that was 30 years ago and she is now happily married to someone not involved in this story. We got married in her 40s, and I was introduced to Graham and his family virtually. Our families exchanged Christmas cards, and occasionally I would hear some stories. I heard a story about what Graham and his family are up to. Fast forward 14 years to 2017, when she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Our relationship was not in a good place before this happened. Fast forward to late 2018, when she decided to go to London with a girlfriend for a girls' trip before starting a heavier round of chemotherapy. She said she reached out to Graham for tips on what to do. Long story short, I found out they had started having sex before the trip and arranged for him to be in London with a hotel room when she arrived. They had sex and continued their affair when she returned home for another month. When I uncovered what happened, I found digital evidence, chat logs, pictures, and videos. Despite her situation, I forgave her, and we tried to make our marriage work for another year, but it was too broken, and we separated. When I discovered the cheating, I was going to tell Graham's wife, which led to my wife pleading with me not to destroy his marriage. In an effort to keep the peace, I agreed not to tell his wife. However, my agreement did not change my belief that Graham's wife should know and make her own decisions. The plan that has been on my mind is to reach out to Graham's wife once my wife passes and ask if she wants to know where her husband was on January 19th, 2019, and why I know what he did that day. If she chooses to remain in the dark, I will not tell her. Would I be in the wrong for breaking my promise and telling Graham's wife and sending her the digital evidence I collected after my wife's passing? Tia, my wife cheated, and the other party and his wife are known to me. I promise not to tell his wife, but once my wife passes from cancer, would I be in the wrong for breaking my promise and giving his wife a chance to know the truth? Reader comment, do not wait until she passes. Tell Graham's wife now. She deserves closure and the chance to confront her childhood best friend who betrayed her. It would be incredibly unfair to deprive her of that and leave her feeling helpless and lost in the aftermath. If Graham didn't want to destroy his marriage, he shouldn't have cheated on his wife. Original poster, my struggle is that we have a child together, and he spends half of his week with me and the other half with her. He has autism and we are working through major behavioral issues. It took me months to get her to be a mother and share information that I could use with his doctor. We have created a drama-free zone. I am concerned that if I make the call to Graham's wife, I will have to deal with her anger, and the next few months will be painful and will impact my son. I appreciate all of the advice. I have thought about this situation extensively and wanted to hear other viewpoints. Reader comment: why would you hide the secrets of a liar? If I were the wife in this situation and you told me after my best friend died that she slept with my husband, I would find you just as repulsive. You could have saved me time and given me the chance to leave this man and woman who cheated me out of a loving life for so many years. It's always interesting to me that the person who has all the information feels entitled to keep the same life-changing information from someone else. It's kind of shitty to sit there and allow yourself the time to grieve and end your marriage, yet in order to protect your cheating wife, you sacrifice a woman's autonomy to make her own choices. How nice that you got the choice to stay or leave, but she doesn't. What great friends she has. Original poster: not telling is part of keeping the peace with my wife, with whom I share custody of our autistic child. We have established a decent co-parenting relationship, and I worry that telling Graham's wife will cause drama that will spill over and impact my son. Just for your information, I did reach out to Graham's wife once, and he told her to ignore me. So she did. At my core, I want her to know, but at what cost to me? I just came out of some massively difficult years, and life is looking up. I don't want any backlash from my wife, as it will create a lot of drama. She can be vicious. I hope this explains why I haven't told her yet. I read her comment, and it's heartbreaking to see a woman living a lie. But you're calling me selfish. Original poster: how am I selfish? I'm putting the needs of my son first. I did reach out to my wife once, but she refused to engage or talk with me. I still believe she deserves to know, but do I risk turning my life upside down to tell her? My wife, whom I'm separated from, can make things very difficult. I finally have my life headed in a good direction, 4 years after she cheated. I don't want to risk going back into the darkness. Story 3. My girlfriend cheated on me, and it's so confusing. I don't know what the truth is, and I don't know what to do or believe. My girlfriend of 2 years and 4 months cheated on me. It happened in May 2022, and I found out last Saturday. So it's been about 7 months and 8 days. They have been such an amazing 7 months and 8 days, except for this one incident. Her best friend, who is a boy, was the only person she trusted at the time. Her friends and family would constantly tell her that I was toxic, controlling, manipulative, and not right for her. She listened to them instead of me, even when I told her they were lying and those things weren't true. Our mental health was extremely bad, and we could have been healthier, but cheating never crossed my mind. I never thought it was a possibility. She got close to this boy and would flirt with him on purpose. She even sent him revealing pictures for him to keep on his phone. The next day, she went to his house and he fingered her, kissed her, and did other things. She claims she had no intention of cheating physically and that she froze when he touched her because it was unexpected. She says she can only remember when he first touched her and can't remember anything else about the night. I spoke to the boy and he says she liked it and that he could feel her being wet through her trousers. However, my girlfriend disagrees and says she didn't like it and that it hurt the next day, which made her realize it was wrong. I had to ask the boy to find out most of the story. My girlfriend opened up about it, but she didn't tell me the whole story. She claims she couldn't remember what he said and that she never intentionally lied. She felt guilty and didn't want to tell me because she knew she would never do it again, but she didn't know why she did it in the moment. She says she was trapped and unhappy due to her mental health and went to him for comfort, but things went further than she expected. She even lied to me about a sick dog to cover it up. She knew what she was doing was wrong, but she froze and went along with it to protect him and not hurt him. She also said hurtful things about me, but she claims she didn't mean them and that she never stopped loving me. She even told the boy that she had feelings for him for years, which she denied when I asked her about it. I constantly wonder why she said those things. Her mental health was really bad and she would have voices in her head, but she still knew it was wrong. She says she didn't mean those things she said, but she said them anyway. And I want to know why. She admits to flirting with him on purpose, but she claims it was just a joke and that she actually wanted to flirt. She says that it was all just stupid though and never meant anything. This cheating and flirting went on for apparently just under 2 weeks, according to the boy. I know it wasn't too long anyway. Although the entire emotional buildup between them was much longer, as I could see it coming the whole time. She says as soon as that one night happened, she knew she would never do it again. He tried it again because she trusted him to take her home one night out. She said no and got out of the car and away, and then had him walk her home. That was the last time they ever saw each other. After the first time, they didn't have any other plans, so it does match her story. I knew it had happened, not actually, but I could have guessed. I was always suspicious. She told me about the time in the car when she said no the day after, and said he assaulted her. And that I was right the entire time. I would always say he was weird and that I didn't like how close they were. And she never told me she went to his house. She hid it from me until I saw her location, and then she just made excuses to cover it up. I do believe she regretted it a lot, and that's why it didn't happen again. She had a bit of drink too, but says she wasn't drunk. I don't get how she couldn't remember most of this or pretty much anything from that night. She used to say I was gaslighting and controlling her, while doing that exact same thing to me in the same text. I would be on FaceTime with her at night, and I could hear her texting on her phone and stuff. She would say that I never sleep before her, and it's weird, and that she can't do anything without me asking. She said I didn't ever have to worry. Then when I was worried, she would get angry and belittle me, calling me insecure and controlling. She said I need to trust her, and the reason I let her talk to this boy is because I did trust her. And she said to trust her, so that doesn't even make sense. I'm in so much pain, I can't ask her too many questions, or she gets extremely anxious, and I don't want to cause her to have a breakdown. My girlfriend says she loved me the entire time, and she never actually wanted it, and felt she was taken advantage of by the boy because he initiated it, and she had such bad mental health at the time. But she still went along with it, even though she had no plans to do it that night. Maybe she's still dead, but what does that mean? The things she said about me absolutely break my heart into a million pieces. I don't get why she did it all. Why can't she remember? Is it possible for her not to remember, and did she really not want it? Or supposedly not like it in the moment, according to her? I want to try and stay with her, but without knowing the answers to these questions, it's going to be really hard. I need a better understanding of all of it, and we do want to go to therapy to try and figure this out and resolve it, as we both have faith for the future. For me, just need to find out some of these things before I can move forward. I hope therapy can help. Any suggestions for that on whales would be good too. My girlfriend cheated on me by getting fingered by another boy. She said I never had to worry about him. She told me she froze when it happened and couldn't remember the rest. All the details he told me, she said she cannot remember, and that she genuinely never wanted to do it and knows she would never do it again. He says she did like it, but she says she didn't, and it was sore the next day. She did hide it all at first, but never planned to meet him again after the first time. I don't know what to believe. I want to stay with her, but I want to understand more and know more of the truth. Read her comment. Knowing the truth, what will you do? In the first place, why would she send revealing pictures of herself to him and all? Just to make you jealous? If you both are not mentally well, get out of this relationship and become well, then get into a relationship. Right now, it's not the right time to be in a relationship. Original poster, we have both really improved mentally. This happened 7 minus 8 months. 8 months ago, she just recently told me that she is going to the doctor to address her mental health. She knows that having bad mental health is not an excuse, but she says she would never have done it otherwise. Let's break this down a little deeper. Are you a generally good and honest man? If so, do you want to be with someone who isn't? Is that the life you want? In the end, you will never get a straight answer from her. She is a liar. She was either lying to him for laughs and entertainment or to you. If she was lying to you, it was to cheat on you, disrespect you, and manipulate you into being her safety net while she is with other guys. If she was lying to him, it was to practice controlling and manipulating men for fun. Now she claims to be the victim. She is willing to do all of that, and now baselessly accuse an innocent man of rape because she was mentally unwell. There is no scenario here where she is a good person. No offense, bro, but remove your head from your... She is beyond toxic. She is a liar, narcissist, and a generally worthless person. Kick her to the curb. The next person she accuses of abuse or rape will probably be you. In fact, she probably already has. Why do you think her family hates you? Original poster, I could have been a lot better too. It's not all her fault. Yes, she took it too far and made the biggest mistake. But I am not perfect either. We have come a long way since then, but this is obviously going to be tough. It's not her whole family who hates me. She would never accuse me of those things, and I genuinely know that. Reading her comment, I think the one line you wrote, Opus, speaks volumes. She said that if she wasn't with you, she would be with him. And the reason she's with you is that she's attached and couldn't cope with a breakup. I know it's rough, Opus, but that in itself tells you everything you need to know about her as a person. You need to walk away for yourself. And if she is indeed going through mental health issues, she needs to get help for it. But in the meantime, what she is doing to you is not okay. And that's coming from me, who is bipolar, so it's not coming from a place with no experience. She has lied a lot, Opus, and that's not normal or okay. She can apologize all she wants, but at the end of the day, she chose to flirt with him. She chose to be touched by him. I know you don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. You are young. It's time to walk away and be with someone who will be as loyal to you as you are to them. But you need to open your eyes and see that what you are feeling for her now isn't love. You are defending her because you don't want to leave, but this attachment from both of you isn't healthy at all. Good luck, Opus.